What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Hope you guys are all having a fantastic day, a fantastic week, a fantastic month, and more importantly, a fantastic year. Because you know why I am. Hey, so today I wanted to drop a little bit of knowledge, maybe drop a little some facts, some data that we're seeing coming out, and it's a little scary, little scary. If you haven't been paying attention to the housing crisis in the United States, and we'll talk about California in a second, more importantly San Bernardino, but in the United States, we are 6 million homes negative. 6 million homes negative. That is an insane amount of homes. I believe the last time I checked, there was about 190,000 to 200,000 homes being built yearly nationwide. So think about that. Think about the astronomical amount of homes that we need right now in California. More importantly, think about this. You know, well, specifically California, right? I don't know about any other states, but well, I know Washington is doing it as well, and a couple other states. But anyways, the ADU law, right? The ADU law is actually expanding, right? They're expanding it. It's going from phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 into phase 4. What does that mean? Well, that means basically a additional dwelling unit. Your garage can be converted right now to make some cash, make some extra money, and rent it out. And in fact, take it even a step further, you can add another 2 units onto your property. So for a total of 4. So people are asking, like, well, Jose, it's so expensive. How do we get into a home and yada, yada, yada. And I get that. Listen, I understand that. I know it's expensive. I think they said here, right now, for you to rent a property, about 55% of your income, right? You're talking about the average person, right? 55% of their income is going towards paying rent. It's an insane amount. And it's not going to stop anytime soon, ladies and gentlemen. It's not going to stop any soon. You know, I keep hearing this from customers. Oh, I'm just going to wait for the market to crash. Crash? I mean, we are technically in a crash. We don't have enough housing. The issue that we're having is that mortgage rates haven't got down, and that's what's creating this bottleneck right now. But the rates will be going down based on what everybody is talking about. You know, the people that I follow, mentors, and, you know, people that I've been following for years and I respect a lot. Rates are going down. Rates are going down in September. So if that is true, and if that is the case, be ready for an influx of buyers getting back in the market again. Right now, homes are sitting on the market for a longer period of time, and it's not because people don't need the housing. It's because they can't afford to buy. Down payment, closing costs. Now they're even making, quote unquote, the buyers pay the buyer's agent a commission, which all that is negotiable, right? So anyways, long story short, you need to start thinking outside the box. If you're a salesperson, if you're a buyer, you need to start thinking outside the box, because this is not going to stop anytime soon. So my recommendation is this. My recommendation is partner up with somebody. If you can't afford the down payment, partner up with somebody. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not telling you some bullshit story. I did this. When I came back into the market in 2009, I never left real estate, right? But there was nothing to do. There was no business. So we're just sitting in the market. Everybody was sitting in the market. But when we were able to come back into the market, we had no money. We were literally bankrupt. And I say me and my brother, for those of you guys that don't know us, everything I do is me and my brother. But think about that. That's crazy, right? How do you go from being broke, credit shot, to building, I'm not going to say an empire, because that sounds ridiculous, right? But, building some wealth, man. Building some generational wealth. We have rentals, we have apartment buildings, we have commercial property, we have real estate, we have mortgage, we have escrow. We got a bunch of things that we're working on, right? We're not stopping, and we're adding on. We're building our transformer, right? We're building our battle bot. That's what we're doing. But never in all these challenges that we've had building, the flipping business, the rental business, everything's been a challenge, ladies and gentlemen. Everything. Right now, I'm going through a challenge. Believe it or not, I'm going through a challenge that I don't have enough money to do all my projects, right? We're just buying so much right now. We're doing so much. So now I got to start looking outside of my circle, right? It's always a challenge, guys. It's always going to be a challenge. It's about how you combat, how you fight those challenges, how you overcome those challenges. You, your customer, and so on and so forth. Trip out on this, and this is an example that I give my agents all the time, when I'm training them. You think that in 1950, 1960, it wasn't expensive for somebody to go buy a home? I mean, we look at the price and we're like, Jesus Christ, why didn't you buy 100 houses, right? Well, think about that. 30 years from now, you're going to be looking back at this. And you're going to be like, wow, why didn't I buy 30 houses? And it's all because you don't know how to leverage. You don't know how to think outside the box. So start with the small stuff. Start with the small challenges. Because if you can't do the small challenges, if you can't buy a house FHA because your credit is shot, because you don't have the money, right? Well, then you better have the knowledge. You better learn or know how to find deals that make sense for investors. Therefore, they're going to want to invest with you. If you have the money, well, then find somebody with the credit. Listen, there is no excuses. There is zero excuses for not going after your dreams, not overcoming these challenges. In every step, right, in every level that me and my brother have been growing in this real estate business and doing what we're doing, it's always been a challenge. From not enough staff members to having staff members to training staff members to everything. I can sit here and tell you guys for hours, but what I can tell you is this: it's all bullshit. It all can be done. I always like to relate to somebody that's doing better than I am. And I always ask myself the question is, well, how did they do it? Why can't I do it? How did they do it? And you have to break your head. You have to break your head. You have to think about it, man. And then you have to execute. You have to execute on the program, whatever it is you're trying to accomplish. But don't think for a split second. Don't think for a split second it's not a challenge. It's always going to be a challenge in every level. Once you conquer one level and you want to move up to the next level, it's always going to be a challenge. Get that through your head. Help your customers think outside the box. Help them, buy a piece of property, rent the garage out, right? For those youngsters, right? Live in the freaking garage, right? Hey, listen, you don't got it like that, my boy or my girl, right? You don't got it like that. Live in the freaking garage. You got to live there for a year or 2 years. Move out, build that equity, rent it out, sell it, whatever it is. Use it as a leverage for your next property. It's always a challenge, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes the challenge is a little bit easier. Sometimes it's a little bit harder. But still, at the end of the day, you got to think outside the box, and it is going to be a challenge. Right now, we are going through some crazy times. We're going through some crazy times in the world, right? But don't believe for a split second these crazy times haven't been around before. Your parents might have gone through it. Maybe your parents have gone through it a couple of times. Your grandparents sure in the hell went through a lot of stuff, right? The Great Depression and all that type of stuff. Everything is a challenge. All of it is a challenge. We all try to look at the past and be like, well, they had it much more better than we did. Well, think about this. When your kids grow up and they look back at you, they're going to be like, well, you had it much more easier than I did. It's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy how the world moves. Buy real estate. If you can get multiple units, get multiple units. If you can build from the ground up, build from the ground up. If you can add an ADU, add an ADU. I've been going through all sorts of different seminars. And what I can tell you is this. There's levels to the game. There's levels to the game. In the ADU business, if you already own a home, it's going to be a lot easier for you to make some quick cash, get a HELOC, convert that garage, and rent it out. I just converted my sister's garage, right? Now, we did it without permits, right? We're going to get permits on it, and there's a reason why I did that. But long story short, it cost us $25,000 to convert a two-car garage into an ADU, and now she is renting that out. I believe they're paying her $1,500 a month, which is $18,000 a year, which in a year and a half she'll have all her money back, right? And now she's home free. She just moved out of the home, rented the front house out, and she's renting this back house out. That's paying for her other home in a much more nicer city, right? Now, I know the typical ADU right now conversion, be careful with these guys, right? But, the typical guy is charging about 80 grand right now to convert a two-car garage. That's what they're charging you, with permits, obviously, right? But permits are not that expensive. It's just the process, the lengthier process. But you got to start thinking outside the box, ladies and gentlemen, and think hard. But you can do it. Other people are doing it. You can do it. Same thing for your customers. Tell your customers the exact same thing. Hey, somebody else is doing it. Why can't you do it? And be ready. Be ready, because all these excuse makers, right, that are saying the market is too expensive, so on and so forth. Wait for the rates to go down and see if they don't have the same excuse. Watch it. Watch. And if they don't, well, help them execute it. Help them execute the plan. Because right now, it's more than ever, It's time to invest into real estate, ladies and gentlemen. I'll see you guys on the next one. Hope you guys have a fantastic day. Let's make some money. Let's get to work. Stay positive. Keep pushing forward. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.
I was a bat out of hell. One look at me, you think that I was destined to fail. 16 with the homies, ended up in a cell. And my crimes got much bigger on a different scale. Used to run around the hood, throwing my name up. Now they can't tame me and can't smoke enough. Man, this shit getting old, must be growing up. Any lesson life was teaching, I was showing up. You know I gotta thank my mama for her holding us down. 4 kids, she a soldier, nothing breaking her down. Welfare, food stamps, and toast to the ground. She the reason why we get it, how we getting it now. And thank God for my big bro Lorenzo, yo. Put some clothes on our backs when our funds got low. Yeah, I really came from nothing, I stay humble, bro. Grind hard and I hustle, that's the life I know. Yeah, so many things done changed. Deep rooted with my brothers, they gon' know our name. Told Ricardo, ain't no felon, we gon' kill this game. And if we take a couple losses, we gon' build on pain. See, whatever didn't break us, that's what's making us now. 17 became a father, had a reason to smile. You go hard or go broke, you can't live in denial. I chose one, went dumb and started winning in style. Fast forward 10 years, selling cribs to the people. 5 companies deep, hardest working Latinos. All muscle boy like a 6'5" El Camino. We the Ponce brothers, reppin' San Bernardino. Yeah, we do this for familia. You know, behind every great man is a great woman holding us down. Yeah. And our seeds are the next generation. And we teach them everything we know so that they may build on what we built.